program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, how are you doing on this fantastic Thursday? I have to tell you, I was so excited about being back yesterday. I totally forgot to mention that it was Whip About Wednesday. What a waste of a day by not mentioning it. Anyways, today's Thursday, July the 6th of 2023, day 187th of the year. Yeah, and and only 178 days left to go. Anyways, we are broadcasting live, live and in living color from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do shit at. Radio Big. Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm as we do the stuff. Anyways, if you want to come and interact with us on the multiverse, you're more than welcome on doing that. It's an easy process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com, and that will get you moving and grooving into all of the areas of the territory that you would care to know about. Yeah, that's kind of the way that it goes. So we'll talk about that. Also, if you want to, like I said, if you want to interact with the show, that's the best way to do it. We're also on the social media platforms where you can follow along and play along, or you can go directly to our websites. Yes, I did say plural on websites, which are, radiobig.fm is one. And then the other option to go to is Safety FM, which is the other option. And as you go to either one of those websites, that will get you into it. And then you just click on the section that says, the following. Are you ready? It says, video. What does it say? It says visual radio. I can't ever remember that. Visual radio. And that will get you everything moving and grooving for you. So visual radio is the way that we kind of do it on this other side of the equation. So that'll get everything going from there. Anyways, with that being said, we're a show that talks about safety in the news and safety. So it gets all kinds of interessante. That's for sure. With that being said, let's talk about what is trending.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so taking a look around, an international vandal plays a stupid card to stay out of trouble for now. We'll talk about that. Machine Gun Kelly punched a fan in the face at his recent show in Belgium, and Brittany Mahomes was pissed off at PETA. We'll talk about that. And Jeopardy fans are ecstatic over the return of Ken Jenkins, and Russell Crowe is contemplating retiring from the biz. More about that as we get into the casting stuff, so don't worry. And Yee has hired a new CEO for the Yeezy company, but the guy comes with several scandals on its own, so we'll talk about all that kind of fun stuff. And then we'll bring in the professional broadcasters to talk about all the stuff that's going on inside of the world of the news, because, the news kind of conjumbles what we have going on, so don't worry about all that kind of fun stuff. So, fun times for now. So what do you think? Do we get it all started by bringing in the professional broadcasters? Oh, yes. And continue with the limited commercial interruption this week. We're playing with it and seeing how it goes. If you come over out to the Radio Big side of the house, you will notice that it has been extreme in regards of the cut down. So don't worry about that. Yeah, this is hour number 1 of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. This is on Radio Big and on Safety FM, but this is the Rated R Safety Show for most. So let's do this. Let's get you into the news for now, because I think you're going to want to hear what they have to say.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Threads, Meta's competitor to Twitter, has already garnered millions of users in the hour since it launched Wednesday. The text-based social networking app allows Instagram users to post short updates, links, pictures, and videos. The app is available in over 100 countries, but not the European Union, over concerns about local data privacy regulations. Former President Trump's campaign says it raised $35 million in 2023's second quarter. Brian Shook reports.
That's about double the amount Trump pulled in during the first quarter of the year. The increase in fundraising came as Trump faced criminal indictments. Trump's fundraising committee is split into two parts, his official campaign and his political action committee that focuses on expenses like his legal bills. The campaign's fundraising efforts have leaned heavily into Trump's indictments, like requesting supporters to, quote, make a contribution to peacefully defend our movement from the never-ending witch hunt. I'm Brian Shook.
There were at least 17 mass shootings across the country over the 4th of July weekend that left as many as 18 people dead and 102 injured. That's according to data published by the Gun Violence Archive. The incidents were recorded between Friday night and into the early hours of Wednesday. U.S. Air Force says 3 fighter jets provoked U.S. drones during a mission against ISIS over Syria. Mark Mayfield reports.
In a statement Wednesday night, the Air Force said that Russian jets took part in unsafe and unprofessional behavior with 3 U.S. drones Wednesday morning, forcing them into evasive maneuvers. It's unknown what kind of mission was taking place against the ISIS targets.
Researchers say they've seen the first case of a brain injury in a female athlete that previously has only been seen in males. The Australian study shows the first case of CTE in a female athlete. They studied the brain of Australian rules football player Heather Anderson, who died last year. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
From FSN in London, I'm Nina Maria Potts with the latest world headlines. Ukraine says a Russian rocket has killed at least 4 people in a strike on an apartment building in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv, injuring at least 32 others as well. Turkey, Sweden and Finland are meeting at NATO headquarters in Brussels in the hopes of hashing out a final agreement on Sweden's accession of NATO. And U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has kicked off a 4-day visit to China in her first trip to Beijing.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
International travelers who need a passport are being told to apply months in advance. Rory O'Neill reports.
If you need a passport to travel over the holidays, you better get your application in now. The State Department says it is working its way through a surge of passport applications and now recommends applying 6 months in advance. Most passports are still processed in 10 to 13 weeks, but the extra time is recommended just in case. Remember, most other countries also require your passport be valid an additional 6 months after your arrival in that country. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Conservative activists are sounding the alarm about a surge of Chinese migrants crossing from Mexico into Texas.
When we find people spying for the Chinese government who legally came into this country all the time, how many's coming in that's spying that came in illegally?
That's Curtis Collier with the group U.S. Border Watch. Roughly 9,700 illegal immigrants from the People's Republic of China have been caught during the first 7 months of the fiscal year. It's believed that most are economic migrants and those trying to escape the country's oppressive Communist Party. A judge is barring the White House from contact with social media sites. The injunction is in response to Republicans accusing the Biden administration of coercing social media companies to censor its critics.
Yeah, it's a great victory for the Constitution, for the First Amendment.
That's Louisiana's Attorney General Jeff Landry, who helped bring the case to court. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is separating from his wife, Shirlene McCrae. Lisa G. reports.
In a New York Times article, the couple said they're splitting up and will be dating other people, but will still be living in the same Park Slope home.
It's a positive move and the best thing for both of us.
De Blasio and McCrae married in 1994, and since then, de Blasio has been through 2 terms as mayor and a failed presidential run.
I'm Michael Kastner.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN. Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
So there you go. Anyways, 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday. So let's get into it, exactly what the hell is going on inside of the world of the shit list, because that is what we do around here. Talk a little bit about everything. So let's talk about a follow-up about a story that we had last week. Authorities have identified the mysterious vandal that was caught carving his and his girlfriend's name into the brick of the Colosseum in Rome last week. The 27-year-old Ivan Dimitrov, in a British fitness instructor who says that he had no idea how old and special the ancient monument was. It is with deep embarrassment that I only after the regrettable that happened, I learn of the antiquity of the monument, he said in a statement published in an Italian newspaper. Dimitrov left Italy before he could be detained, though it appears he is still being prosecuted and could face $15,000 plus fine and jail time. No word what kind of extradition arrangements could have to be put in place. It'll just have to stay out of the country indefinitely. Let's talk about this. I mean, I have a hard time believing this. So all of a sudden, to prove my love to my girlfriend, I am going to carve my initials and her initials into the Colosseum. And I did not realize how old the thing is. What are you? An idiot?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm just asking because I figured he would join my club. But you're still wonderful in my book, because everybody's wonderful. Anyways, a competitive runner missed out on taking first place during a race in Atlanta on Tuesday because she went the wrong way. Sinbir Tafari held a healthy lead heading into the home stretch, but then a police motorcycle guiding the course veered away, and she followed behind them. The error gave the racers behind her the time to catch up, while Tafari did soon notice her mistake and started spinning to catch up. It wasn't enough. She ended up third place by a mere 4 seconds behind the winner. Those 4 seconds cost her $10,000 grand prize, too. A statement by the race organizers acknowledged the confusion as an organization, and we are disappointed whenever we fall short of perfection. In the case, it appears we did. This was via 11 Alive that this information was actually said. So let me ask the question. So if they spin you out of control, what the hell do you do? I mean, I don't know. It kind of gets kind of weird there. I mean, just think about it. Because then what do? It's like, oh, I screwed up, man. I screwed up entirely. I'm just asking the question. So what happens now? I don't know. Just interesting to see. Anyways, a rep for the Teamsters Union representing UPS driver said that they will strike at the end of the month if a new labor contract is not agreed on before then. Both the company and union reps pointed the fingers at the other, making no progress on negotiations over the holiday, and no sessions are scheduled, even though a few weeks remain to figure something out. The union members still need to vote and ratify the agreement. This is all coming via Bloomberg. So worth noting, I just want you to kind of take this into perspective here. About 1 in 4 parcel ships domestically are carried by UPS. Yeah, I said that. So 1 in 4. So you have a 25% swing there that you might not get something if they go on strike. I remember a few years ago, and I mean, I'm talking a long time ago, because this is still when I'm living the highlight in Waco. Yeah, the highlight of Waco. So that should give you some idea on how many years ago this was. There was this whole thing where they went on strike back then as well. So, and I remember it was a small cluster F, and it was years and years ago, and I still remember it, and I don't have the greatest memory, according to some. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, Earth's highest ever global temperature recorded was at 62.6 degrees. That record then was broken the following day, the 4th of July, reading at a 62.9 degrees. It's likely doesn't end there. However, Dr. Robert Roode, the Climate Change Institute, says there will be even warmer days over the next 6 weeks. What's causing all the heat? Roode says that it's all from the year's El Niño's weather pattern, which impacts the wind and water current. The World Meteorologist Organization warns that El Niño is on the track to be one of the most impactful in recent memories. The last global record was 62.5, which was noted back in 2016. 2016. So 62.5, now 62.6. The Earth's temperature has been regularly recorded for about the past 140 years. This information is coming via Climate Change Institute, WMO. Listen, I'm just going to tell you, some people go, "What are you even quoting all the stuff on where it's coming from?" Because I want you to know that we are telling you stuff that's newsworthy and accurate and vetted, opposed to it just being the first to get you something. Because here's the other thing. I take a look around at what happens. I don't do news for entertainment or entertainment for news. I tell you the news because I think it's important to what's going on for you to talk about it inside of the safety stuff that you have going on inside of your workplace. That's part of the reason why we discuss this. But being first does not always make you right, but being last doesn't make you accurate either. So I just want to make sure that when I give you some level of information on what the hell's going on, you know where it's coming from, and you can kind of start looking on what the hell's going on, opposed to it just being, oh yeah, you gave me the info, and now we're good. So here you go. Anyway, so doctors in Singapore were shocked when they found out that an octopus stuck inside of a man's throat. Yeah, I said that. The unnamed patient checked into the Tan Tock Seng Hospital after some severe vomiting and triple swallowing. Doctors did a quick scan to see what was causing his issues, and that is when they noticed the 8-legged, ended up being lodged into his guy's esophagus using an endoscope to flip the octopus so it was legs down. The doctors were able to grab the head with some forceps and remove it. After 2 days in the hospital, the patient has recovered and was discharged. As for the, on what ended up happening with the man's throat, well, he says that it was part of a meal that he had recently dined on. So was the thing still alive when you were trying to eat it? I'm just trying to figure out. 6 people die a year by eating a live octopus dish known as sanaki. This is via the New York Post food and wine section. Okay, so listen, I don't care if it's 1 in 6, 1 in 1, whatever. Why in the hell would you want to eat something that's still alive? Hold on, now that I think about that, that might make me question a whole bunch of stuff.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, Rated R Safety Show. So let's go ahead and do this real quick, if you don't mind. I have Mr. John Smalls waiting in the wing, and he wants to tell you everything that is going on inside of the world of the market. So why would we not gather that opportunity to do so?
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, July 6th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets held within a tight range Wednesday while investors waited on the NFP report. The minutes of the last meeting were released in the early afternoon and suggest the Fed will continue to hike rates, but at a slower pace than before. This is consistent with the idea that the Fed will hike rates by more than an additional 25 basis points, but only one 25 basis point hike per meeting, if that much. What this means for the economy is more pressure and higher costs that should send consumer demand into retreat. The NFP report is due out Friday. It's expected to show job growth decelerate from the previous month, but hold strong near 250,000. While the headline figure will be important, the revisions are also important to note. The average hourly wage gains are expected to cool slightly to 4.3% year over year, which is still hot and underpinning general inflation. The takeaway is that the Fed's job is not finished and it still has a fight on its hands. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for letting us know exactly what is going on inside of that world of, of the market. So let me tell you what I was able to find. The Dow lost about 129 points to close at 34,289 on Wednesday. The S&P lost about 8 points to close at 4,446. The NASDAQ lost about 25 points to close at 13,791. West Texas Intermediate closed at $72 a barrel, and Brent crude was at 76. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.52 on Wednesday, and Bitcoin fell on Wednesday to about 1% and trading around $30,400. There was more than 3,110 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Wednesday, and about 250 cancellations in total. Friday night's Make a Million drawing will be for a $427 million jackpot or a $220.6 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Anyways, I want to talk about this because I talked about it at the very beginning of the show. Not that I would normally intertwine these two worlds in regards of what we have going on, but let's go ahead and talk about it. As some musicians deals with being the hit by objects while on stage, a guy at Machine Gun Kelly's show in Belgium asked the rapper to punch him in the face, noticing a sign in the crowd that read, "I just came from Mexico for you to punch me in the face." MGK asked, "Why do you want me to punch you in the face? I love you," the fan responded. Unconvinced, MGK continued on with the show, but later he did walk out into the crowd and gently punched the guy with the sign in the face and mouthed, "I love you," to show it was all fun. Last month, several singers were injured by fans while BB Rexa was hit in the face by a cell phone and Ava Max was slapped by a fan. And then Kelsey Bellini got beamed by a beaded friendship bracelet. So there you go. That's all according to People magazine. What the hell's going on? I mean, I thought, what's the point on going to the concert to try to hit the musician? I thought you went to a concert to enjoy the music that you went there for. Like, I'll tell you, a few weeks ago, I went to a concert, listened to 3 bands, fantastic bands, Fear, Megadeth, and the Misfits. Grand time. Nobody got slapped. Nobody got hit. I mean, not on the stage, at least. And it was good. I mean, I had some questions about some of the music that was there, but I thought it was a good time overall. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some things that are going on real quick inside of the world. Let's talk about Chicago, Illinois. 1 person is dead and 4 others are injured after a shooting at the 4th of July block party in the city Inglewood neighborhood. Let's talk to Perry Williams.
Interim Police Superintendent Fred Waller says an investigation into the crime is ongoing.
We're still investigating it to see if it was something internal or if someone from outside shot into the crowd. When we have over 100 rounds of spent cartridges out, we know that didn't just come from one side.
The incident happened early yesterday morning in the 5600 block of South Ada. In addition to the others who were shot, 1 man was beaten with a baseball bat and remains in critical condition. No one is in custody. I'm Perry Williams.
Okay, thank you, Perry Williams, for that. Let's talk about this real quick because this is going to be making the trends, but you'll hear it in the threads as well. Threads Meta competitor to Twitter has already garnered millions of users in hours since it launched on Wednesday. Michael Kastner has some more information.
The text-based social networking app allows Instagram users to post short updates, links, pictures, and videos. Several high-profile users were quick to join, including the likes of Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, and New York Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The app is available in over 100 countries, but not the European Union, over concerns around local data privacy regulations. I'm Michael Kastner.
So there you go. It's out there right now. Anyways, coming out of Oxnard, California, the suspect is in a deadly stabbing at a house party in Oxnard will be sentenced today. Daniel Martindale tells us more.
The man pleaded guilty to a second-degree murder charge in May. In January of 2020, he stabbed a 24-year-old man 10 times after challenging him to a fight at a house party, then left. He was arrested the following week. Investigators do not believe it was a gang-related murder. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for the information right there on what the hell's going on. Take a listen to this one. There are no reports of major damage after a car crash that sparked a 20-acre wildfire in California. Daniel Martindale has more.
Authorities say a woman fainted while driving on State Route 33 on Wednesday afternoon, then crashed through a fence and into a field. The exhaust from her car ignited a fire in the field. Firefighters have since stopped the fire's forward progress. The woman was able to get out of the car before the fire started and was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, so let's jump coast to coast real quick. New York might be placing migrants in empty school buildings for the summer. Scott Pringle has more.
Well, sources tell the New York Post Mayor Adams' administration has compiled a list of up to 30 school buildings that are expected to be empty throughout the summer to possibly house migrants. That includes New Dorp High School on Staten Island, and that's drawing some backlash with the Brooklyn Councilman Ari Kagan telling the Post that schools are not the appropriate place to house migrants and the community will be against it. The city's out of shelter room as waves of asylum seekers continue to come. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you, Scott, for the information because we definitely need to know what the hell is going on right there. Anyways, a new study suggests that Virginians are among the most reliant people in the nation. Take a listen.
Financial services website WalletHub recently ranked all 50 states to determine which ones are the most self-sustaining. The website examined dependency in each state using criteria such as personal vices, support from the federal government, international trade, and consumer finance and debt. Virginia ranked 5th overall. Utah is at the top of the ranking. Colorado, Florida, and Washington round out the top 5. I'm Sarah Bartlett.
Thank you, Sarah Bartlett. You hear that Florida was in the list. You just made the list. So there you go. Anyways, 2 Newark firefighters are dead after battling a blaze late last night on a ship. Scott Pringle has more info.
Well, there were several vehicles on fire on the 11th and 12th floors of a cargo ship docked at Port Newark last night. The fire chief says firefighters got pushed back by the intense heat, and that's when 2 of the firefighters were lost while backing out. Newark's Mayor Raz Baraka visited the scene.
We had a response from fire service companies all over the state who came here to help us look for lost fire guys from the city of Newark who unfortunately did not make it.
Some other firefighters were sent to the hospital with injuries. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
Okay, thank you, Scott Pringle. Terrible to hear the news. I always hate hearing about first responders and any kind of level of death related to anyone, but especially first responders, because, listen, some of these people do these things for free. To hear what exactly is going on is just plain terrible at times in regards to what is going on. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about this. It is 32 minutes past the top of the hour, and I think it is time to do that thing that we do around now, known as the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know, I sit back this morning and I take a look at what is going on inside of this worldo, and I go and take a look at what's going on inside of that worldo, and I take a look at what's going on in the world, across the world, of the world, of the world, of the world, and it's always a good time to do that. But sometimes I wonder if imitation is a form of flattery, or if imitation or people just mimicking what you do is just some bitch-ass shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I said that out loud. But man, it's kind of weird. It's just weird. When you kind of take a look at people that imitate other people's stuff or copy it in general exactly to what it was. Character-based stuff opposed to how the original source material is. And here's the thing. I have a hard time with this as I look at this, at some of the stuff that we do here. But then let's kind of flip it on its side and go back and forth for a moment and go, is it really that bad? And let me explain what I mean here. I have been to organizations as I worked in the field and saw things that the organization did and said, oh my word, we need to copy what they're doing and bring it back to what we should be doing. Yes, you heard me say that. We copied what somebody else was doing inside of their organization, brought it back to our organization because we saw how well it worked. So, when you do these things, is it good or is it bad? Now, listen, everybody that's out there doing stuff inside of an organization, especially like an organization like yours, is going to be different. And it's going to be difficult. And some things might not work at your organization that work at other organizations. And that's the great part about it. But what we run into is, do we look at this at some level of flattery? Now, think about this. Some of the best things that occur inside of the world deal like this. You call me or I call you in regards of what is going on with your organization and say, how did you implement these things and how did you make them work? Now, listen, I hang out with a group of people. I try to make it as often as possible. It's normally once a month. They do a phone call on Tuesdays and it's at 2:00 in the afternoon. They call it a Tuesdays at 2. And this group of people get together and talk about things they've implemented that are related to HOP and how they were able to implement these things and get together and how they worked. And people get to ask questions of, okay, so that got to work and this got to move. Is that the right process? I would say yes. But when it comes to this on what we do here or people do over there, it's just kind of weird to hear. Like, I will tell you, I have listened to a person recently that has copied the title of another podcast and started doing a video cast almost by the name of what the podcast was, and then copied a portion of a podcast and made it exactly what the video cast is. It's just a weird world. And people taking ideas of others and then writing books about them and then claiming on how they're their own ideas. It's just a strange time. And listen, I sit back from time to time and go, copyright it all. And then people get weirded out. But you have to almost have a reason on why you would give some consideration on doing some of these things. You would have to have a reason on why you would consider doing some of it. I don't know. It just gets strange from time to time in regards of what happens. So how do you look at this? When you're looking at changing the way that some of the things happen inside of your organization and you look at other organizations, are you willing to pick up the phone and give somebody a call and say, hey, this is what I'm willing to do? Or do you go, oh, contraire mon frère, I'm not doing that? Listen, sometimes there is an area of pride that people do not feel okay with picking up a phone and asking somebody how to do something. And that's okay. I mean, it's something that you have to get over psychologically within yourself. I have no problem asking for help. If I have an issue, I ask for help because I went a very long period in time in my life that unless I had control over it, there was no way I was asking somebody to help me, because how the hell were they going to know how to do it? Think about how jaded that mindset was.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you. Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring Safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK. Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Yes, baby, being on top of the world. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's 42 minutes past the top of the hour. Oh, hold on, my watch is telling me I'm behind. Matter of fact, I'm ahead of time. It's 41. Let's. Oh, we don't want to do that. Okay, 42 now. 42. So there you go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about La Musica. This is still the Rated R Safety Show. Hour number one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. This right here, this is Tiger Run. And this is On Top of the World. You can take a listen to them. You can stream it. You can take a little listen on what's going on. All you have to do, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. That will get you moving for you. So there you go. A lot of fun stuff going on right there, that's for sure. So let's get into the move and the groove of the thing that we have going on here, known as the Rated R Safety Show. You know, it's always a good time when you and I get to hang out, especially on a Thursday. You know, I don't know how you're looking at this. Is this a 3-day work week for you, or were you here on Monday as well? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of it's one of those weird weeks because I've been totally off already in regards to what's going on. Not that I'm off all the time, you know, but I'm just off, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. Listen. Let's kind of go through this a little bit slower today than what we normally do. If you need immediate help, there is helplines that are available for you. If you are struggling with addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, thoughts of suicide, trauma, grief support, anything related to veteran affairs, anything related to LGBTQIA plus, and bipolar. To find out more information, all you have to do is do the following. Go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. I'm being serious. This will change everything for you. I would love to tell you, if you take a look at their website on how much of an impact this organization can have in regards of what's going on and what they're able to help and provide with. All kinds of numbers to text lines for you to know that you're not alone, numbers that you can call. No matter what you are facing, you deserve to be connected to help. We want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Things can get better, okay? Listen, I want to make reference to this because I think that there's still a hard time with this conversation for some. This is not a magic solution. Things are not going to be perfect because you contacted TWLOHA.com. If you have ever interacted with someone who struggles from mental health, or even if you struggle from mental health, you know that this is something that you interact with on a daily basis. Some days you wake up and things are good. Sometimes you wake up and things are bad. Just kind of how it goes. It's okay not to be okay. Seriously. I want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of this. To Write Love on Her Arms. TWLOHA.com. There you go. Information right there, readily available for you in regards of what is going on. I love that organization. I'm telling you. I love them. I love them. I love them. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. So let's continue talking about some things that are going on. Scientists say, yes, let's do this. Yes, I might be known as a scientist, but let's not talk about that. Children who start reading for pleasure early in life tend to end up with better school marks and better mental health outcome as teenagers. A study published in the Journal of Psychological Medicine found that a stronger link between reading 12 hours a week and improved performance of cognitive tests later as teenagers. The researchers say that reading isn't just a pleasurable experience. It's widely accepted that inspired thinking of creativity and increases empathy and reduces stress. Fortunately for me as a kid, I could only get about 12 hours in a week simply by reading the cereal box. So there you go. Anyways, forget sleeping pills and eye masks. Chocolate could be the key to avoiding jet lag. In a study of the University of Sydney, researchers created a simulation for long-haul plane rides, and airlines are prepared to debut direct to Sydney to New York, a route in 2025. Will take the treacherous 20 hours. They found that those who devoured the chocolate experienced better sleep quality in the flight, less severe jet lag, and better cognitive performance in 2 days after the flight. They could have asked any woman about the miracle power of chocolate. So there you go. What do you think about it? I mean, like seriously. So would you devour some chocolate if you think that it was going to give you better sleep? I mean, I don't know. It's something to think about, that is for sure, as we are talking. So holy ship. And I did say ship, just in case. Construction has been completed for the world's biggest cruise ship at a shipyard in Finland. Royal Caribbean International's Icon of the Sea is now undergoing a sea trials ahead of the debut in October of this year. When it sets sail, it will be comfortably hold some 5,610 passengers with 2,350 crew members. The boat Piece de Resistance will be the world's largest water park at sea. Category 6 will feature 6 record-breaking water slides, but guests who want more luxurious experience can also relax on the boat's 7th pools and 9 whirlpools. That's exactly how big the world's biggest cruise ship is, a mammoth 365 meters or nearly 1,200 feet, and weighing in at 250,800 tonnage. Yeah. A spokesperson said that the company is positioning the Icon in the sea and ultimately a family vacation. And it sounds like it's just about that. It features more than 40 ways to dine, drink, and be entertained with 20 decks, 8 neighborhoods to explore, and the concept to cater every type of vacationer. With areas dedicated to young families, adult-only spaces, and everything in between. There are 28 types of accommodations designed to be perfect home base for the Icon at the Seas. Excursions throughout the Caribbean departing from Miami year-round. Well, it's the world's biggest cruise ship for now, so it's so big they needed 2 former American Idol winners to head up the entertainment area. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. Now, I want you to think about this real quick. If it's 250,800 tons, how the hell can they get that thing to float? Seriously, like how are they making that thing float? I have a lot of questions. I mean, seriously, it's just weird.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. No, seriously. I mean, how do you make something like that float? I'm just slightly confused here. Anyways, it is 49 minutes. Let's just call it 50 because it's easier to say. 50 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's bring some John Smalls in. Let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Entertainment Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Jamie. Kenny Rogers said, "Here's what I learned about raising boys. If you keep them busy, they're fine. You let them get bored, they'll dismantle your house board by board." I concur with Kenny Rogers. I am one of 6 children. I have an older brother and a younger brother, plus 1 older sister and 2 younger sisters, and I'm right in the middle. But I can say with absolute certainty, every story from my youth that involves some sort of bad idea that we played out, it always involves my brothers for sure. Once in a while, we roped our sisters into the fun as well, but boys are fun. Just keep them occupied for your own sake. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
A member of the Texas National Guard says he was infected with malaria while working near the Rio Grande River in South Texas. Christopher Shingler tells NBC News he was stationed in Brownsville in May when he started feeling sick. He says his entire unit was getting torn up by mosquitoes at night, though he was the only soldier diagnosed with the disease. It's the first locally transmitted case of malaria discovered in Texas since 1994. The New York City Council is looking into the response by Mayor Eric Adams and his administration to Canadian wildfire smoke. Some lawmakers have criticized the Adams administration for being too slow to respond and absolutely unbreathable for most people on June 6th. Levels topped 400, making the Big Apple the most unhealthy major city in the world in which to breathe. Health Update, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
I would say my mama, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't give a shit either. Anyway, so there you go. Let's continue talking a little bit about some other things that are going on inside of the world, because that just seems like something we need to do. So let's talk real quickly about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look around, let's go to 1994 for a moment. Yes, what a year. The award-winning flick based on the novel of the experiences of the author Winston Groom. The movie won 6 Oscars, and Tom Hanks took home the Best Actor in the leading role, and Robert Zemerick won the Best Director. It also won awards for the cutting-edge CGI animation, and I'm talking about no movie other than Forrest Gump. It premiered back on this day, back in 1994. 1994. Do you feel old yet? Were you around? I mean, I'm just asking. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today, because that just seems like the thing to do. Zion Williamson turns 23. Manny Machado turns 31. Cody Fem, 35. Eva Green, 43. Kevin Hart turns 44 today. Tia Tamara turns 45. 50 Cent turns 48. Hold on, 50 cents, 48. Larsa Pippen turns 49. Willie Randolph turns 69. Geoffrey Rush, 72. Sylvester Stallone turns 77. And George W. Bush turns 77. Hold on. They don't look alike in regards of physicality at 77, just saying. And the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of the Tibet, well, he turns 88 today, just in case you were wondering. If you're needing some reasons to celebrate today, well, I have some of those for you. It's Umbrella Cover Day, International Kissing Day, Smoochy Smoochy, National Fried Chicken Day, Take Your Webmaster to Lunch Day, and Virtually Hug a Virtual Assistant Day. I've never met my virtual assistant, and my webmaster, well, he's kind of an interesting guy, so I don't know if he would want to go to lunch with me, especially because, number one, we're not in the same time zone, and number two, I don't think he likes me that much. But that's a whole other story to get into for another day.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's talk real quick. Extra state troopers will be out about patrolling on Florida roads this week, with nearly 2.5 million Floridians driving more than 50 miles as they head home from the vacation. Florida Highway Patrol Peter Bessinger says that be prepared to get plenty of rest and check your car for any maintenance issues before you put it the pedal to the metal. Take a listen.
You have different levels of drivers out there with you, and you also have different incidents that are coming up that you may not know about.
He says cracking down on speeders, aggressive drivers, and those impaired by drugs and alcohol. Florida Highway Patrol also says that they're prepared to plenty of rest. This way you can make sure that you're alert.
You know, people have to come to a stop really quickly. If you're speeding down the road, you're going to not be able to stop in time.
Yeah, that's how that goes. You drive quick, you slap on the brake, and you can't just stop. Kind of the way that happens. Anyways, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is reportedly holding off allowing licensed retailers and growers to sell recreational marijuana at farmers markets and festivals. Scott Pringle has more.
Governor Hochul's administration tells the New York Post the farmers market concept's on hold and a final decision has not been made, and that means it might not happen at all. This adds to the slow rollout of the legal pot industry in New York State and comes as thousands of illegal pot shops have popped up. Those in the industry not happy. The Coalition for Access to Regulated and Safe Cannabis tells the Post the failure to roll out the farmers market program is just the latest in the state's long list of broken promises. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Oh, you know you don't want to be that person about the broken promises. You just know that that's not something you want to get put over. That is for sure, as we are talking. So there you go, some things to think about as we are hanging out and doing the thing that we do. It is 56 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me tell you about this real quick because it's coming soon. Oh, that's for sure. So here you go. The Conklin Conference coming to Orlando September the 27th through the 29th. You're more than welcome to come out, hang out with us at safetyfm.io to find out more information going on in the ghettos place of Orlando, Florida. Would love to see you there. Come hang out and do all those fun things that we'll get to do during that time frame. Let me give you a random joke for today because I think that that's going to be important as we are doing our thingo. That is for sure. So take a listen to this. One thing I know for sure is that history really does repeat itself. I'm getting a pet dinosaur. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What nicknames do you have for people in your neighborhood and why? If you need something for the water cooler, try this question. In a survey, parents said they get the kids only get to do this for a half an hour before they get bored. What is it? Play outside. Really? Does your kid get bored after a half an hour of playing outside? That sounds like not a lot of time. I'm just saying. Anyways, I want to tell you, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and for being the listener, and for being the watcher, because listen, without you, it does not make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. I love hanging out with you, getting to do all this kind of fun stuff. We will be back tomorrow to do this thing that we know as the Freeform Friday, so make sure that you are getting ready for us to freeform everything that, that we've been looking at throughout the week that we didn't get to play catch-up on, and believe me, there's plenty of material for tomorrow for us to go over. So we'll do that tomorrow as we get to hang out. Listen, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not into the attainment. Sometimes we get so mixed up with those things that I want to make sure that we're all even keel. Seriously. Anyways, top of the hour, Radio Big. I'll be going over there if you want to come and hang out for the next couple hours or so as we talk about music, the world of entertainment, and all that kind of fun stuff. If you stay on Safety FM, you'll get to take a listen to the Sheldon Primer Show, where he talks about the world of safety consulting. And why would you not want to do that? Anyways, thank you for being the best part. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.